Hello everybody, this is Refresh and I have something new for you. I am taking a look at Gamegenic's matte board game sleeves for standard European cards. These are clear and these are notable because there are only so many manufacturers that make matte board game sleeves, and so Gamegenic is adding into that arena that previously consisted of Arcane Tinman and BCW, and BCW doesn't cover all the sizes in their board game sleeves either, so it is nice that there is another option for matte board game sleeves. These sleeves come in at $3.99 MSRP for a pack of 50 sleeves. That comes in at about 8 cents per sleeve, which is the most expensive per sleeve cost of all of the standard European size sleeves. And so with this premium price tag, I hope that the product is just as premium as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. As you can see, these sleeves are matte and smooth on both sides. Now I'll count to make sure that there are 50 sleeves here. Alright, there are 51 sleeves in this pack, and I'm not really ever going to complain about there being an extra sleeve, and so I'm going to say that you get what you pay for here. Checking for thickness, these sleeves are about 1 centimeter thick for a pack of 50, which means that each sleeve is 200 microns thick, or 100 microns each face. Now to check the dimensions. These sleeves are 62 millimeters wide by 94 millimeters tall, just as advertised on the packaging. And now we'll see how a card fits. I have a Dominion Copper right here, and we're gonna put it right inside. The fit is pretty good. It is not too loose on either side. There's a little bit of space between the opening of the sleeve and the top edge of the card. So I think that it is also an even fit, and I will note that you can't press the card all the way down to the bottom of the sleeve well. There does seem to be a little bit of space at the bottom of the card sleeve, and so we'll see if that means that the card is going to be pushed upwards back towards the opening of the sleeve as we handle these. Now it's time for the sleeve test. I have 45 Dominion Coppers here. We're going to put them into these sleeves and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Alright, it took 2 minutes and 6 seconds to sleeve these 45 cards, and that is a respectable speed of 2.8 seconds per card sleeved. I felt like the overall sleeving process was just fine. I didn't really have any issues with putting the cards into the sleeves, and so I think that you will also probably have a similar experience. Now that I've sleeved these cards, let's check for their consistency and their uniformity out of the pack. The tops are all consistent, as are the sides. I don't see any issues with their uniformity out of the pack, and I did notice that while sleeving cards, that the sleeves are all in great condition out of the package. I didn't notice any blemishes at all, and so I think that these are some pretty high quality sleeves. Now it's time for the shuffle test. I'm going to shuffle the sleeve deck 100 times and see how long it takes. Ready, set, go. Alright, it took 1 minute and 31 seconds to shuffle this sleeve deck 100 times. And that is a blazingly fast speed of 0.91 seconds per shuffle. This is now the fastest sleeves that I have tested for cards of this size so far. And I think that makes sense. I find that the matte sleeves tend to shuffle much faster than the glossy sleeves in general, and the feel of these sleeves as you shuffle them against each other is amazing. It's smooth like butter. It just slides right in without any resistance at all. And so I think that the actually handling of the sleeves and how they feel against your hands is amazing. And so if you like a really smooth shuffle, these are some sleeves to really consider, along with the other matte sleeves, of course. And so very happy with the handling quality of these sleeves. Now let's go ahead and take a look to see how well the sleeves have held up after this handling. Alright, so there are some really good things about these sleeves and some things of minor concern. So the good thing is that the sleeves are just as pristine as I originally sleeved them. The faces are in great condition. There's no dents, there's no bumps, there's no scratches. The edges have not split at all. The only really two things of minor concern that I would like to point out is one, that the corners are, some of them have bent slightly. It hasn't gotten to the point of creasing like soft sleeves do, but they do bend just a little, and I think that over time the wear on the sleeve as you shuffle them together is going to cause the corners to bend even more, and eventually that's going to get to be a minor hindrance as you use these sleeves a lot. But it is only the most minor of bends right now, and you can barely tell when you were looking at them, but I could feel it a little bit bending as I was shuffling the deck a bit. And so that is one note of minor concern. The other note of minor concern is that, as you can see with most of these sleeved cards, that despite pushing them in fully when I sleeved them, you can see that the cards have snuck up towards the top here, getting close to the opening of the sleeve, and then there being more space at the bottom of the card between the bottom of the sleeve and the bottom of the card. And I think that's because of how tight these sleeves fit. You don't really feel any air in this sleeve at all, and so because of the tightness, I do think that it does mean that the cards are going to be pushed up as you handle the cards. And that means also that the tops of the cards are going to be a lot closer to the opening of the sleeve, which means that they are potentially more likely to get nicked or damaged or be less protected as a result of that. And so that is something that I think some of you will want to consider, how much protection is important versus how the card feels and the quality of the construction of the sleeve in general. So be aware of those two minor issues with the quality of these sleeves, but otherwise I think that they are pretty good. Now it's time for the shake test. I have stacked these sleeve cards into a deck, and I'm going to shake the table that they're on for 2 seconds to see how well it holds up. Ready, set, go. Alright, I'm minorly concerned that the deck started to shift a bit, but it didn't actually fall apart, and so I think that this is fine. The deck should be able to handle a bump or two across the table, or maybe some light bumping. The most light bumping, as you can see, it would fall apart if you really hit the deck, but it should be able to handle some jostling and bumping without falling apart, and so that is a qualified pass. And now we're going to do the draw test, where I'm going to draw 3 cards off the top and see if the deck holds up together and if the cards are sticky at all. Ready, set, go. Okay, I didn't really notice any issues with drawing cards off the top. It doesn't come more than 1 card at a time, and the deck doesn't fall apart or fall down at all while you're drawing cards off the top, so that is a clear pass as well. So I think that these sleeves are mostly worth the premium price that you're going to pay. Now, whether you're in the market for a premium matte sleeve or not, that is something that's up to you. But if you like matte sleeves and you want the highest quality matte sleeves possible, these are probably going to be it. The sleeves feel great. They are consistent. They are rigid, and they are wonderful to handle. And the only notes of concern that I have are the fact that the cards do tend to push up towards the top of the sleeve and the opening there, which potentially means that as you handle your cards, that they will become slightly less protected by the distance between the opening and the top edge of the card as you handle them, and then the corners bending slightly as you handle them as well. I think that that may lead to the corners being even more bent over time, and that can prove to be a problem with handling the sleeves. As you shuffle them, you'll find that the corners are going to connect with each other and not be able to get in as easily. But you're getting a very classy feeling sleeve for that, and so if it is worth the premium price tag of being the most expensive sleeves that you can buy for cards of this size, then it may be what you want. And the luxurious feel of the sleeves and the handling will certainly be an appealing factor for many of you. But that is going to be it for these particular sleeves. If you have experience with these sleeves or any other standard European sleeves, I have surveys in the description box below. You can click on them and share your experience with their consistency and their durability, and that will be available at the Init Games' resource page. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can hit subscribe. This was Refresh. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.